Hello people, I'm back, the Frets at 32. So, I'm just here to wrap up some things. In 2 days I'm going to be going on vacation to the Cape, and I might record maybe a little bit there, but not much. I definitely will not be bringing my camera with me, that's for sure. And then for the second week, I won't be having any electronic devices with me at all, because I'm going on a church retreat. This involves phones, so those of you friends who are interested in talking to me about stuff, you will not be able to do that. There'll just be a lot of stuff involved. I still gotta write my college essay. July is a very, very busy month for me. I'm not gonna lie. This is like the busiest month I've had in like years. And I just had a party. I had like the best night of my life. I had a lot of people go, and it was so much fun. I'd like to thank every one of you guys for coming that did. And Pharaoh Man, hey, that's easy. I would use the flash stopper on, but I think I'll only use that if I'm low on health, because this guy's a pretty fun battle. Basically, what you want to do is just keep him very close to you, but you don't want him to actually hit you with his uncharged pellets of energy. It's a lot easier to counterattack, but I'm impressed that I've made it. Let's see. Those little blobs, they don't do too much to you, so it isn't really that meaningful if they strike. And one thing you've probably noticed about Mega Man 4 is that the contact damage from the bosses, it adds up really quickly. But for Pharaoh Man, he only takes away 4 units as opposed to the 8 that everyone else does per contact. But I'll get to that when I actually do my walkthrough. These are Mega Ball cannons, I think. They will continually bounce balls around. They get faster each rebound. And yeah. Another Dustman room. Met in my face. That is an up and down. The first actual type of that enemy. Ugh! And the ring boomerang, I may as well show that off. It's pretty useful. It's like the rolling cutter of the game. But I would not recommend using it against those. Flash Stopper I would definitely recommend, because it'll stop them in place. But I would definitely recommend using the ring boomerang here, because it can kill the spark spines and the enorms outright. The Mummy Ruz, they take a lot more hits. And that eye boss I faced a bit earlier, that's called a Whopper. Also, that Saturn enemy that you saw earlier, that is a Ring. Roman Mitchell referred to it as a Saturn Seeker. That's actually what Nintendo Power referred to it as in one of their issues. My absolute least favorite mini-boss of the entire game is probably Batanu. Roman Mitchell called it Hippo Platter, but that is definitely not the name, and I did not see it in Nintendo Power at all. So I have no idea where the hell he got that name from. This enemy, I have no idea what it is. I'm surprised it doesn't appear in Skullman's stage. And for once, I have nothing to farm. Every time I come in this room, I play this endless mode a lot. I always have weapons to farm. That enemy, I don't know what's called. But speedrun, possibly? Nah, I don't think so. E. Many of these Picados. Die, Picado. Now, August, I will be completely free, so... And I plan to have another party, possibly. And we'll get ready to spread the senioritis, but we won't be spreading too much of it, because it's time to get serious. It's go time. we're gonna do whatever we can to actually make it a really successful year. And Rockman, one of my favorite robot masters. He has the best weapon in the entire game. But you won't be able to hit him at the start, because he's invincible. Drill bombs, they don't do too much damage to you, but their damage kinda adds up, and it's pretty hard to dodge. I do not prefer him using it. I prefer him doing this continually. Just charge up. I prefer fighting him Buster only, especially when the dive missile, his weakness, does the same amount of damage as a charge shot does. If you could get a pattern down like this, you could drain about half his health this quickly. And, the explosion, however, does too. You may have noticed this in my actual review, Horus Robot Masters, when I got to Mega Man 4. But August, I will have nothing going on, so that will leave me a lot of free time to hang out with friends, do all of my chores, all that. I should have a very fun summer, but also a very busy one as well. I expect to have a lot of fun when I go to the Cape and such, as well as my church retreat, and when I go to camp and see my friends there. But then I will have the entire month to myself before school actually begins. This room I don't think was actually in the original game. It may have been an unused room, or maybe just a fan-made room. Rain Flush would be an excellent weapon to use in this next room, but... way too many bullets on screen at once. Let's stop time. You dropped a life pellet. But I can't hit you yet. Fine, I'll take damage, if that's what you want from me. So yeah, I am very surprised that I have not died yet. I usually die like within like the first 30 rooms. Now, Rockman 3, I would not be surprised if I died that early, because the Rockman 3 Endless Mode, it is hard as hell. Because, well, honestly, I think Mega Man 3 is the least... Mega Man 3 is my least favorite game of the entire series. Yeah, it introduces the slide, and the Robot Masters are pretty unique. The weapons are cool, like the Needle Cannon and the Shadow Blade. But I think that is the most poorly designed of the entire series. And I count Mega Man 1, because that was a beginner game, so that's an exception. That was the starting game of the series that sparked it. Mega Man 2, that is a very good game. That game, as poorly designed as that one is, that one actually revived the series. Mega Man 3, I'll get to that in the near future. I did some of the Robot Masters in Mega Man 2, and I did all the Wily stages, but I'm going to revisit that. Also, I'm going to do Mega Man The Wily Wars for the Genesis. Now, this room is where I died last. Pharaoh Shot or Skull Barrier, very good options. And this is one of the few chances where I'd actually pick Skull Barrier, because that's like the obligatory useless weapon of the game. But it's actually partially an upgrade from the Leaf Shield. You can walk with it. What the hell? I think my game just glitched out. And then it disappeared. What the hell? I have no idea what was up with that, but whatever, I'm rolling with it. I'm also going to be doing swim team during the summer so I can get in shape. That should be a lot of fun. Though it's going to be early in the morning, so I'm going to be like really tired. If I don't die, like, within the next rooms or so, I'm just going to just end the video. You always want to shoot that Picado very early, just in case it decides to open up early. Jump Big, pretty weak to the drill bomb. 2 shots will destroy it. I just love that drill bomb. It's so powerful, it kills many things in 1 hit. Or at least very close to 1 hit. It kills the I-boss very quickly, though the Pharaoh shot kills in 1 hit. And speaking of drill bombs, that is Toadman's weakness. And if I get hit by this guy, he could hit me twice, but I always like to use drill bombs to speed this guy up, because it's pretty easy to mess up on him sometimes. Thankfully, I did not mess up on him that time. And it's still going on. Dive missile would be good to fight against these guys, but I don't have dive missile yet. And whereas many people start off with Toadman, I always like to start off with Dive Man because his weapon is very useful. Also, Dive Man, he's also a very easy boss to start off on. Moby could be very tricky to deal with, but you could very easily defeat him. That's that Escargot boss or whatever it is over in Toadman stage is pretty tricky. That is just my personal opinion on it, though. If people like to start with Toadman, hey, they like to start with him. I personally just like to start with whoever I want to. Dust Crusher is the best thing to use against these guys. And why haven't I died yet? This is without save states, by the way. You could also kill these guys using Flash Stopper. Also, I hate this room right here because it requires me to use a bunch of utilities to get up there. Preferably the balloon adapter, which, nice glitch. It acts like item number 1. It basically is item number 1. If I die, if I fall off of these platforms, I'm just going to fall right into the pit. Because this place is extremely tedious. I had to be on the computer for most of my morning this morning just so I could beat Nezumi Man, and yeah, I hate that game so much due to its very bad control. And the fact that they add Ghosts and Goblins to it just makes it even worse. Because if you see my review of Ghosts and Goblins, you will know that I hate that game. Ghosts and Goblins is not a good game. It's extremely difficult, you get 2-hit deaths, you get unlimited continues, but it is still pretty damn hard. We're at room 189. Wow. So I think I'm just gonna stop it here. See you in a bit.